Wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world. The longer you live, the more you will realize that the only things that truly exist in this reality are merely pain, suffering, and futility.
The time for this video has finally come. Now, as you read from the title, today I will be breaking down the truth about S4 GOAT. Some of you may know him as Alyong. Now, either way, neither me or my right-hand man Sam the Eternal GOAT have been associated with Alyong for a very long time now, pretty much the better part of a year at this point. And as some of you may remember, me and S4 GOAT, you know what, I'm gonna call him Alyong from now on. Well, we were some real good friends, and I mean we were tight, and so was Sam. We'd always be in his stream, we'd always stream with him often, we'd watch all his videos, and we even spoke and interacted with him outside of Storm 4. I first met Alyong around the time that I started my YouTube channel, basically like July 2020-ish, and when I met him, I was actually fully convinced that he was who he said he was. I was convinced that he was truly the best Storm 4 player in the world. And that's because he had an exposed video on literally everybody. And I believe that people hated him because he was so good. And also because he was kind of arrogant about it. But, you know, over time, I slowly realized how it's all a bunch of bullshit. And I believed all this because I was pretty new to the Storm 4 community, and I was also pretty naive at the time. But it's also due to the fact that this man Alyong brainwashes literally everybody around him. It's almost like he has a spell cast on some of these dudes, and unfortunately, I was one of them. But through time, I noticed the inconsistencies with what he would tell me, and I'd see others in the community expose his ass, and after months and months and even years of seeing this shit, I slowly stopped believing that he was who he said he was. And that was actually one of the factors that contributed to me leaving. Now, as many of you know, Alyong also loved to expose people. His exposed video format was basically the same for every video. He would just trash talk everybody he was exposing. And you know what, let me give you guys an example.
Talk about this big content creator, not content creator, big content creator, Afro Senju. Damn, you think Naruto Storm 4 is dead? No, my nigga, his girl got a fat pussy, wow. But nevertheless,
the way he would obtain these clips for these exposed videos is he would roll up into his victim sessions with an alt account so nobody suspects him, and he just hoped that they have their guard down so he can get an easy win. If he didn't win, which, trust me, happened very often, he would try again and again, just until he got that one win so he could post you on his channel and say he exposed you. This means Alyong could lose 20 fucking matches in a row, and he'll only post the one he beat you in. So I guarantee you that he isn't nearly as good as most of these players that he's even exposing and talking trash to. And one thing he would do is he would try and get me and Sam to help him expose other people. I remember this one time, actually, he tried to get Sam to set up this female Twitch streamer or something, well, so that Alyong could expose her. Now, I'll be honest, for a while, Sam did somewhat take part in this, and then I guess he finally realized how fucked up it was. And the reason he was even involved in this is, in his own words, because he wanted to thank Alyong for helping him out, I guess, if that makes any sense. And the reason is because, they trained a lot, and, I guess he showed him a bunch of stuff and so on. But the problem was that Alyong was asking Sam to do these exposed videos almost daily. And Sam, he just slowly realized that it was taking a massive toll on his reputation in the community. I, on the other hand, I wasn't really involved with the exposed videos, but I definitely did play a big part in some of his beefs, if you could call them that. I remember the first time I really ever got into it with somebody over, or I guess on Alyong's behalf, was with some dude named Ruby of Astora and Rick, aka Sanji. I won't go into too much detail on that one, but it was pretty fucking pointless. And I'm actually friends with Sanji today. And I guess the second time this happened was when Qyon dropped his diss track on GOAT, which I guess wasn't completely mine or Aliyong's fault, because, you know, they're the ones who dissed first. And the third time was with somebody called Abstract. I don't know if you remember that one. He did make a diss track first, but that's only because Aliyong dissed him. And if you guys saw that video he made on Abstract, that was a completely wild video. He was saying all types of crazy shit. So I guess we can't really blame Abstract for coming at Aliyong. And what I'm basically trying to say is that I was constantly dragging myself into these conflicts that Aliyong himself started, just so that we wouldn't look weak, I guess. And, you know, now that I think about it, that's a complete waste of time. If I had to point at one specific event which made both me and Sam realize that it's time to ditch Aliyong, I'd say it'd have to be the day that Sam decided that he was done with exposing people. He told me first, and to be honest, I didn't really care, because I was also done with that shit at the time. And he went to tell Aliyong. He's like, yo, listen, bro, you know, I'm really done with exposing people. I just want to be peaceful, so on and so on. And that didn't really go well, because Aliyong straight up blocked Sam, you know, just for saying he didn't want to take part in these videos. The same fucking videos which were the reason why people were coming at us left and right. Sam didn't even say, nah, GOAT, I'm not rocking with you if you keep exposing people. He just said that he personally didn't want to be involved in it. And after all that, I kind of realized what Aliyong really needed us for. And what he needed us for was to be his sword and shield, if you get what I mean. He would start shit with random YouTubers and streamers, and when shit hit the fan, he'd expect me and Sam to handle it for him. At the time, I believed that we were some kind of team, and if anybody came at one of us, then we'd all defend each other. But in reality, they were only really coming for Aliyong because, you know, he's the one who was starting shit. And I understand there's no reason to really glorify, you know, drama or beef or any of that shit, but let's be real. If I wasn't there to make my diss track on Qyon, he and his homeboys would have obliterated Aliyong. The little diss track that Aliyong dropped, yeah, it's just straight fucking garbage, let's be honest. And he admitted to that himself. But that's the thing, I didn't have to respond to it because they really weren't coming at me, they were coming at GOAT, behind some shit that he himself started. And that's the same thing with Abstract. He dropped his track, I followed up with mine. If Aliyong didn't, you know, if I didn't, Aliyong would have taken an L. And I'm pretty sure Abstract did make fun of one of my videos on his stream at some point. But again, he was just responding to what GOAT had done, which was drop one of the most disrespectful videos of all time, making fun of and dissing Abstract. And I'm pretty sure he didn't even have to, I'm pretty sure Abstract didn't even do anything to Aliyong, you know, to begin with. Aliyong just came at him for no reason. And before I get carried away with that, let me just say this. Aliyong has got to be one of the most paranoid motherfuckers I have ever met. He trusts nobody. He only trusted me, and he trusted Sam a little bit. But he pretty much had doubts about everybody else. Although, you know, he didn't always voice this publicly, so keep that in mind. He always thought that people close to him were out to get him. And to be honest, there was a bit of truth to that. People were out to get him plenty of times. But at the end of the day, the reason for all that was because he himself would do the very same thing to others. So basically, this man Aliyong was terrified that somebody would do to him what he spends hours every day doing to others. That's fucked up. He calls the entire community, the entire Storm 4 community, toxic. And, you know, he is right to some degree. But still, Aliyong is probably the most toxic motherfucker on the entire game. And as many of you can imagine, Aliyong has a really hard time finding and maintaining friends. He's usually incredibly hostile to people in his chat, you know, when he's streaming. And he pretty much, like, he literally bans anybody who doesn't subscribe and leave a comment or, like, admit that he's the best. And this pretty much alienates like 99% of people who'd even want to watch his videos. And even if you do somehow manage to be cool with him like I did, he usually ends up falling out with you within a couple months, most likely because he'll accuse you of spying, or he'll see you chilling with other people he doesn't like, which pretty much includes everybody in this community. And you know, me and Sam, we aren't any different. We just took a lot longer to drop him than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And right now, Ali Young literally has no friends or people close to him. You know what I mean? I remember at some point he was actually cool with a lot of people, and I'm gonna name some of them. Shout out Big Mike, shout out FaZe Naruto, shout out Psychedelic God. But at the end of the day, most of his friends were really just cool with him because me and Sam were cool with him. You get what I mean? They were cool with us. And that's because we're cool people. You know what I mean? Not to brag or anything. And yeah, you can't expect people to stay friends with you when you diss them or, you know, make all these kinds of accusations, which is what he would do to his friends. And since I'm going all in for this video, I think I really need to talk about his so-called S4 GOAT card, which is basically one of the accounts that he was using at some point. That was his main account for Storm 4. And basically what he did was he used that account to achieve 1,000 rank wins without a single loss on Storm 4. Now this actually suggests that, you know, he's a decent, pretty good player, but as many of you know, that's very misleading, and that's because his BP and rank are suspiciously low for somebody with that many wins and no loss. And that's because he actually only fights people who he's sure to beat, aka beginners. And he's been running around challenging everybody in the community to quote unquote expose his GOAT card. And if you guys don't know what that means, he's basically telling people to post a video of them beating him, you know, pretty much the same way that he does other people, right? And for some reason, I don't think anybody ever got a video of them beating him on his main account. But here's the best part, right? And this is something that nobody knows except for me, I'm pretty sure. So basically I have conclusive evidence which proves that Ali Young was telling everybody on Storm, everybody in the community, to expose his S4 GOAT card, right? Even after that PSN account got permanently banned. Like, I'm pretty sure he was telling people to, you know, beat me on my S4 GOAT card, beat me on my S4 GOAT card for like 6 whole months while that account was actually banned. And then he made a new PSN, which he, you know, then gained another 1,000 wins with no loss with the same method, you know, only fighting noobs. And I think that, you know, just the fact that he would tell people to fight him on an account that no longer exists, that just shows how much of a fraud he is. You know what I mean? That, like, that just proves it. And now, before I make my concluding remarks, I just want to play you guys a short interview I did with my boy Sam Eternal Goat, so that he can give his perspective on all this. Now, because you know, as I've said before, he did play a big role in everything that happened, so I just want to give him this opportunity. So, Sam, tell the audience, what specifically made you realize that you no longer wanted to expose people or be involved in any of that kind of stuff?
Well, alright, bro. So basically, what made me not want to expose people anymore, it was just that it was too much, bro. Like, you know, I got all these people on my phone, people I don't even care about, and just the energy of it was just toxic, bro. And like me as a person, I'm not toxic, you know what I'm saying? I want to be upbuilding, like I want to be in a community where like we don't even have to worry about that stuff, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even just enjoyable to play the game, because when I was with him, at first all I wanted to do was get better at the game and, you know, things like that. So, you know, I overall, bro, it was just a toxic environment that I didn't want to be in anymore.
Well said. So, what was going through your mind, though, when Ali Young blocked you after you told him, yo, bro, I'm done exposing people, and so on?
I felt free, bro, honestly. Like, when it was all over with, bro, and when I told him everything and I told him to block me, bro, like, I just felt like it was the best thing to do. Like, it was a new chapter, new phase, and honestly, I got way better at the game after when I left him, so that's the funny part about it. But yeah, bro, yeah, that's basically much it with that one. Like, you know, we just close the book, bro. Just move on.
So, what advice would you have for people who might still be hanging around Ali Young, or, you know, doing all these things for him, exposing people, or getting involved in any of his nonsense?
All right, so the advice I would have, bro, is that like don't really trust him, bro. Like, honestly, like, all the stuff that we went through and everything, like, he's gonna use you. He's gonna ask you to take pics. He's gonna ask you to go, like, honestly, bro, because the thing about it is that, like, he only wants you for you to help him and achieve his goals. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't really have a whole lot of interest in you, the person, because once you leave him and once everything is over with, he's gonna think of you like you're rubbish, bro. Like, you're nothing. Like, you wasn't anything to him. So, like, to be fair and honest to all the people out there, bro, just continue to be yourselves, upbuilding. Don't worry about all this toxicness in any community, to be honest, and just be free. That's for real.
So, me and Sam ditched Aliong in July of last year, and in that time, since then, I've been doing quite a bit of thinking, and I think I figured out what Aliong's purpose for what he is doing is, and it's very simple, really. For me, for example, my purpose is to run a successful YouTube channel, and for my boy Sam, it's to be the best player he can in the games that he plays, right? We know GOAT isn't actually interested in being a good player, since he only trains with himself and alienates anybody who might be able to help him get better. We can't even argue that he's deluded into thinking he's the best, because we've already established that he himself knows that he's not a good player when he has to lie about how he reached 1,000 wins and hide that his account got banned. We can't even say that his purpose is to run his YouTube channel up, because we know that the type of content that he makes is heavily restricted because it's so disrespectful, and it definitely can't be monetized. So what really is his purpose? Well, as I said, it's pretty simple. He desperately wants attention, clout if you will. He knows that he can't get it through his skills or talent, so he does it in the only way that he knows how to, being so toxic that people are almost forced to pay attention to him. If you take a look at his channel, it somewhat works because, he does get a decent number of views for his sub count, but in reality, none of those people checking out his channel actually like him. Aliong has got to be one of the few YouTubers I know where, like, an overwhelming majority of his subscribers don't even fuck with him. And that's why no matter how many times he's exposed or shown to be a fraud, he'll never go away, because in the end, he thrives on clout. And I know for a fact that this video I'm making right now isn't going to get rid of him either, but that's not my purpose with this video. My purpose for making this video is to establish that I've moved on and no longer have any contact or interaction with Aliong. The truth is, most people know me for my association with GOAT, and even though I can't change the past, what I can do is admit that I was wrong about somebody who I thought was my friend, and let you guys know exactly what led me to make this realization. Nothing more, nothing less. In fact, when I was discussing making this video with my boy Sam, he said that some people are still not going to be cool with us even after they see this video. And he's definitely right about that, and that's fine. But I told him, if we do the right thing, we gotta do it for ourselves so that we can finally move on from this situation, not really for other people's forgiveness. And now I know that this video is like 20 minutes long at this point, and there is definitely some stuff that I've left out. So if you feel like anything is missing, please comment down below, saying let me know. And if you guys have any questions for me or Sam, leave them in the comments down below as well. And with that said, that about wraps it up, and I'm gonna have to see y'all next time.
I don't believe in destiny, I just do what's best for me. Don't listen to my enemies, they're just full of jealousy. Yeah, this legacy, you gon' see what's left of me. You gon' see success in me, you ain't seen the rest of